Good morning, gentlemen. Here we go again, trying some different camera settings today, and I also remembered the critical tool that I forgot yesterday. So let's go. I have half a notion to go ahead and cut down this big bastard. Just for shits and giggles. Let us do that. If he's not hollow, he'll probably make some pretty good lumber. If he's not hollow. my mallet. Oh, he's not hollow. I don't think it's going to fall exactly the direction I want it to. I think it's going to go more to the right. If I cut this side first, it may try to, it'll pull that way. So if I cut this side first, but then I'll have a harder time getting out of the way. It can just fall where it decides to fall, I reckon. What a time to run out of gas. Yeah, I just should have filled it up when I started. I figured there'd be enough in there to cut that thing. Dumb. Oops. Make a mess. If you're saying to yourself, it looks like you mixed that awful rich with oil there, Lee, you would be correct, because that's the same gas I'm burning in that 92cc Hulls Forma, and I wanted to run it pretty oily until it was broken in. I haven't used it hardly at all, though. I mean, I haven't really used it other than just starting it and farting around. I haven't used the mill at all yet, but I should have gotten a 26-inch bar for it and a crosscut chain, and then I could have used it on these great big trees. But who wants to carry that bastard around, you know what I'm saying? It's one thing to be pushing something that heavy along a chainsaw mill, but by God, I wouldn't want to haul that thing through the woods every day. Jeez, oh whiz. All right, let's continue seeing if we can cut this thing on my head. It is leaning a little bit in the direction I was intending for it to fall, so I don't think there'll be any trouble. And there is no wind at all this morning. It is unusually calm. So I can't claim to be some kind of expert sawman or something. Those of you who, unlike me, actually know what you're doing have probably been screaming at your cameras this whole time, but the idea here is to have a hinge of wood in the middle that goes all the way through the tree, and that makes it fall where you want. So you cut a kerf out of the one side in the direction that it's going to fall, and when you cut this underbit kerf like that, the ass end of the tree usually hits first and then the top, and it doesn't break as much shit out of it. But when you're trying to cut stuff real close to the ground, you've got to cut a kerf like that. Sorry, breathed in some sawdust. When you do that, the top usually hits first and busts a bunch of shit out of the top of it, which is a pain in the ass to clean up. So as you can see, I'm not much of a sawman, but we will muddle through and hopefully not drop anything on our heads. Perfect. Perfect. That is actually exactly where I wanted it to fall. I'm pleased with myself. That was entirely accidental, just so you know. Yeah, that'll mill up right nice. If I can move the son of a bitch. All right, based. You can see where the hinge was, you know what I'm saying? If you cut through that hinge, or like overcut it or undercut it on, like when you're cutting the kerf, if you cut too far in and cut into that hinge, and then when you come up, like the top of the hinge comes out here and you end up cutting into it like this, so you've got like a just a little saw line up there cutting through this thing, then you know there's no guarantee that it's going to fall in the direction that you intend. It could go anywhere. You got to be real careful. That's the most important part, is the direction of that kerf right there, in my opinion. Like I said, I'm no saw man. I've just done some redneck shit in the past, you know what I mean? Yeah, boy. All right. Now that it's warmed up a little bit, I think it's time to get the tractor and get that pipe in that ditch down there. Raspberries. I will have to remember that. Man, who is that retard? Jeez. All right, let's. What's going on, shithead? Huh? We're not going hunting today, sorry. I probably should have charged the battery in this thing, but it's mostly downhill. Yep, shithead, we're not hunting today, sorry. Alright, let's see if this thing still works. Oh, alright. See if I can remember how to work it. We hold this to turn off the limiter thingy, and then this changes both put both hubs in, and turn the pedal assist all the way up. I think that's it. Yep. All right. Shit. I guess I got the wrong size pipe last time I was there. Well, that's interesting. N12, I didn't measure it. N12 pipe joint assembly. I assume that meant that was a 12-inch piece of pipe. Well, I done fucked up. I guess I'll have to take that one back. Well, it took a while to get the tractor up here and back, and then I decided that if I'd only put that 120-foot section of culvert in there, it would be a pain in the ass to get in and out of here until the end of time. So as much as I hated to do it, I went to town and bought another 20-foot section. So too expensive, but this way I can drag plenty up this direction and take as much of this hump out as I can, and then I'll fill a little in down here in this low end, just to, you know, keep people from driving off the edge accidentally, and we'll be good. So Oh, goodness. Are we even still recording after all that? We are. I'll be damned. Something worked for a change. Well, my generator light came on, so something funny's going on. Maybe time for an alternator conversion, I don't know. I don't know if it was better with the slick leaves on top or if it's better with the slick dirt. It would be nice to pour a bunch of gravel on this thing, and then grind it in there, but I'd never be able to dump this stuff with all these trees hanging over the road. I'd hit the bed. I was hoping this erosion that goes down this side would get filled in, but everything was clumping together and just kind of rolling underneath of the blade. I guess I'll have to do something else there. I don't know. Well, do you guys think this bald-tired shit wagon will get up that road? The four-wheel drive doesn't work, but I'm gonna turn it on anyway, just in case. We may be fixing to get stuck, is what I'm thinking. I did, of course, forget to bring my chain. Well, Leroy Jenkins. Gonna. Bullshit. Ooh. Now I gotta back down out of here. That's gonna be even more interesting. Well, I'm gonna have to walk back up there and get my stuff. It's supposed to rain like hell tomorrow. I don't want my stuff to get soaked. I reckon that's it for today. Tomorrow is supposed to be rainy as shit, so like 90%. So I suspect that we might work on something different tomorrow inside. I'm gonna try to make my own smart shunt for this solar system, because the cheap batteries that I bought don't have their own built-in Bluetooth shunt thing. But I think I can make them for like $12 to $15 a piece, using an INA226 module, an ESP8266, and a like high amperage shunt of the appropriate size, all off of eBay. We'll see. Anyway, see you later.